I found that the major key to success is not resources or drive or luck. Those things matter, yes. But the major key to success is philosophy. It's how you think. Your philosophy creates your attitudes. Your attitudes lead to your actions. Your actions determine your results. And your results determine your destiny. So I want to ask you, how disciplined is your thinking right now? Because undisciplined thinking leads to undisciplined actions. And undisciplined actions lead to undisciplined results. Let me tell you something profound. Most people have no idea how much their own thinking is sabotaging their success. They blame the economy, their boss, their spouse, their parents, their lack of education, everything except the one thing they have complete control over, their own thoughts. The garden of your mind. I want you to think of your mind as a garden. Now, what happens in a garden if you don't tend it? If you don't pull the weeds, if you don't plant good seeds, if you don't water it? That's right. The weeds take over, and pretty soon you've got a mess. Your mind works the same way. If you don't consciously plant positive, productive thoughts, and if you don't regularly pull out the negative, limiting ones, guess what happens? Your mind fills with weeds, doubts, fears, excuses, rationalizations, and those mental weeds will choke out any possibility of success. Some people's minds are so full of weeds they wouldn't recognize an opportunity if it slapped them in the face. And that's sad. That's so sad. Here's what you need to understand. Your life is always moving in the direction of your strongest thoughts. Always. So if your thoughts are predominantly negative, guess where your life is heading? That's right, down. If your thoughts are predominantly confused, your results will be predominantly confused. But if your thoughts are predominantly clear, disciplined, and focused on what you want, that's exactly where your life will go. Up, forward, toward success and happiness and fulfillment. The disease of excusities. I want to talk about a disease that's rampant in our society. It's called excusitis. The failure disease. It's the habit of making excuses for why you can't, why you don't, why you won't. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have the right connections. I don't have the right education. I didn't grow up in the right neighborhood. The economy is bad. My boss doesn't like me. Let me tell you something. Successful people don't make excuses. They make progress. They find a way. They solve problems. They take responsibility. The moment you start making excuses, you've given away your power. You've surrendered your ability to change your life. You've decided that your circumstances are more powerful than you are. And that's simply not true. We all have circumstances. We all have challenges. We all have obstacles. But some people let those circumstances define them, while others define themselves by how they respond to those circumstances. That's the difference between success and failure, my friends. Not your circumstances. Your response to your circumstances, and that response begins with your thinking. Disciplined thinking begins with awareness. So how do we discipline our thinking? It begins with awareness. You have to become aware of what you're thinking. Most people never do this. Most people let their thoughts run wild. They let their minds wander wherever they want to go. And then they wonder why their lives are a mess. Disciplined thinking means becoming the gatekeeper of your own mind. It means paying attention to your thoughts and asking, is this thought serving me or sabotaging me? Is this thought moving me toward what I want or away from it? It's like standing at the doorway of your mind with a clipboard. Every thought has to check in. What's your purpose here? Are you helping or hurting? You can come in, but you can't. That's the beginning of mental discipline. And here's the fascinating thing. Once you start paying attention to your thoughts, you'll be shocked at how many negative, limiting, self-defeating thoughts are trying to get into your mind every single day. I can't do this. This is too hard. I'm not smart enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not experienced enough. What if I fail? What will people think? These thoughts come at us like a flood. And if we're not careful, if we're not vigilant, they'll get in and set up camp and start running the show. And that's when our lives start to go downhill. The power of questions. One of the most powerful tools for disciplining your thinking is asking better questions. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you consistently ask yourself. Most people ask terrible questions. Why does this always happen to me? Why can't I catch a break? Why is life so hard? Who can I blame for this? Those are lousy questions that lead to lousy answers and lousy results. Instead, try asking questions like these. What can I learn from this? How can I use this to my advantage? What's great about this problem? What's the opportunity here? How can I turn this into a win? Those questions lead to empowering answers and empowering results. Here's a powerful question I love to ask. What would the person I want to become do in this situation? Think about that. If you want to become financially successful, ask yourself, what would a financially successful person do with their money right now? If you want to become healthy and fit, ask yourself, what would a healthy, fit person eat for lunch right now? The answers to those questions will guide you toward becoming the person you want to be. That's disciplined thinking. The company you keep. Another crucial aspect of discipline in your thinking is being careful about the company you keep. Jim, you might say, what does that have to do with my thinking? Everything. You see, we become like the people we spend the most time with. Their attitudes, their beliefs, their habits, they all rub off on us. It's like osmosis. We can't help it. So if you're spending time with negative, cynical, complaining people, guess what's happening to your thinking? That's right, it's becoming more negative, cynical, and complaining, even if you don't realize it. If you want to discipline your thinking, you need to surround yourself with people who think the way you want to think. People who are positive, productive, purposeful. People who challenge you to grow, to improve, to become better. I'm not saying you should abandon your old friends, but I am saying you should be deliberate about who you allow to influence your thinking. Because they will influence your thinking, whether you realize it or not. There's an old saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I'd add to that, if you're the most disciplined thinker in your circle, you need a new circle. The input determines the output. Let's talk about the information you're feeding your mind, because what goes in determines what comes out. If you're constantly consuming negative news, violent entertainment, mindless social media, and shallow conversations, what do you think that's doing to your thinking? It's making it negative, violent, mindless, shallow. You cannot expect to have disciplined, focused, productive thoughts if you're filling your mind with undisciplined, unfocused, unproductive information. What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you talking to? These are not innocent choices. These are programming choices. You are literally programming your mind with every bit of information you consume. So be selective. Be disciplined about what you allow into your mind. Read books that inspire you, that educate you, that challenge you. Listen to podcasts and audio programs that expand your thinking, that introduce you to new ideas, that help you grow. Have conversations that matter. Talk about dreams, goals, ideas, opportunities, not just problems, complaints, gossip, and the weather. What you feed your mind determines what your mind produces. It's that simple. The power of visualization. Here's another powerful technique for disciplining your thinking, visualization. The conscious, deliberate use of your imagination to create clear mental pictures of what you want. Most people use their imagination to scare themselves to death. They visualize all the things that could go wrong, all the ways they might fail, all the reasons they can't succeed. That's an undisciplined use of a very powerful tool. Instead, use your imagination to visualize what you want. See yourself succeeding. See yourself achieving your goals. See yourself living the life you desire. And here's the key: feel the feelings. Don't just see the pictures. Feel what it would feel like to achieve that goal, to have that success, to be that person. This isn't some new age nonsense. This is how the human brain works. Your brain doesn't know the difference between something you vividly imagine and something you actually experience. That's why visualization is so powerful. When you consistently visualize what you want with emotion and detail, you're programming your subconscious mind to look for opportunities to make that vision a reality. You're aligning your thinking with your goals. You're disciplining your mind to focus on what you want rather than what you don't want. The power of affirmations. Another tool for disciplining your thinking is the use of affirmations. Positive statements that you repeat to yourself out loud with emotion multiple times a day. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Jim, isn't that kind of silly, standing in front of the mirror talking to myself? Maybe it seems that way, but let me ask you something. Is it any sillier than standing in front of the mirror telling yourself all the reasons why you can't succeed, why you're not good enough, why life is so hard? Because that's what most people do. They don't call them affirmations, they call them thoughts. But they're really negative affirmations. Positive affirmations are simply a way to consciously override the negative self-talk that most of us engage in unconsciously. I am worthy. I am capable. I am making progress every day. I have everything I need to succeed. I am attracting opportunities into my life. I am becoming the person I want to be. These are not magical incantations. They're reminders. They're ways of redirecting your thinking back to what serves you rather than what sabotages you. And when you repeat them with emotion, when you feel the truth of them, they begin to sink into your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind begins to believe them. And when your subconscious mind believes them, it begins to look for evidence to support them. And when it finds that evidence, it reinforces the belief. And the belief influences your actions. And your actions create your results. That's how affirmations work. Not by magic, but by aligning your conscious and subconscious thinking with what you want to create in your life. The discipline of gratitude. Here's a powerful discipline for your thinking: gratitude. The habit of consciously looking for things to be thankful for. Most people do the opposite. They're constantly looking for things to complain about, to be frustrated about, to be angry about. And guess what? They always find them, because what you look for, you will find them. But when you discipline your thinking to look for things to be grateful for, you'll find those too. And the more you practice gratitude, the more automatic it becomes, the more natural it feels. The more it shapes your entire perspective on life. Start each day by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for. End each day the same way. Keep a gratitude journal. Share your gratitude with others. This isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about training your mind to see the good alongside the bad. To acknowledge the blessings alongside the challenges. To recognize the opportunities alongside the obstacles. That's mental discipline, and it's life-changing. The discipline of focus. Another crucial aspect of disciplined thinking is focus. The ability to concentrate your mental energy on what matters most. Most people's thinking is scattered, fragmented, all over the place. They think about work while they're with their family. They think about family problems while they're at work. They worry about the past. They stress about the future. They rarely give their full attention to the present moment. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to mediocre results in every area of life. Disciplined thinking means being where you are, mentally. It means giving your full attention to what you're doing right now. It means focusing on one important task at a time rather than multitasking and doing many things poorly. Focus is a superpower in a distracted world. The person who can concentrate their mental energy on one important goal, one important task, one important problem, that person has an enormous advantage. But focus doesn't come naturally. It requires discipline. It requires training your mind to stay on task, to resist distractions, to keep coming back to what matters most. It's like training a puppy. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back. No judgment. No frustration. Just redirect your attention back to what you were focusing on. Do this enough times and your mind will begin to stay where you put it. That's mental discipline. The discipline of long-term thinking. One of the most important aspects of disciplined thinking is the ability to think long-term, to consider the future consequences of today's choices. Most people don't do this. They make decisions based on immediate gratification, immediate comfort, immediate convenience. They don't think about how those decisions will affect them a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to a life of regret. Disciplined thinking means asking yourself, how will this decision affect my future? Is this moving me closer to my long-term goals or further away from them? Am I sacrificing what I want most for what I want now? It means being willing to experience short-term discomfort for long-term benefit. It means being willing to say no to good things so you can say yes to great things. It means planting seeds today that will become trees of abundance in the future, rather than just picking the low-hanging fruit of immediate pleasure. That's mental discipline, and it's rare. But it's also the hallmark of those who create extraordinary lives. The discipline of possibility thinking. Another crucial aspect of disciplined thinking is what I call possibility thinking. The habit of looking for opportunities, solutions, and ways forward. Most people engage in problem thinking. They focus on what's wrong, what's not working, what's in their way. And that's important to a point. You can't solve a problem you don't acknowledge. But many people get stuck there. They dwell on the problem. They talk about the problem. They identify with the problem. They become experts on the problem. But they never move beyond the problem to the solution. Disciplined thinking means acknowledging the problem, yes, but then immediately shifting your focus to possibilities. Given this situation, what can I do? What are my options? What's the opportunity here? How can I turn this around? This isn't about positive thinking in the sense of denying reality. It's about productive thinking. It's about focusing your mental energy on what you can control, what you can change, what you can create. Problems drain energy, possibilities create energy, and energy is what fuels progress. The discipline of decisiveness. Let's talk about the discipline of decisiveness, the ability to make clear, confident decisions and stick with them. Most people are terrible at making decisions. They waffle, they second guess, they delay. They overthink, they underanalyze, they ask everyone's opinion, they change their minds repeatedly. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to confusion, missed opportunities, and lack of progress. Disciplined thinking means gathering the information you need, considering your options, making the best decision you can with what you know, and then moving forward with confidence. It means being willing to be wrong sometimes, because you will be, we all are. But indecision is often worse than wrong decision. At least with a wrong decision you learn something. With indecision you learn nothing and go nowhere. It means not letting fear paralyze you, fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of making the wrong choice. These fears keep so many people stuck in perpetual indecision. And it means sticking with your decisions long enough to see if they're working, rather than abandoning ship at the first sign of difficulty. Persistence is part of decisiveness. That's mental discipline. The discipline of learning. Another crucial aspect of disciplined thinking is continuous learning. The habit of constantly seeking new knowledge, new skills, new perspectives. Most people stop learning when they finish school. They might pick up things here and there, but they don't have a systematic, intentional approach to growing their knowledge and skills. That's undisciplined thinking. And in a rapidly changing world, it's a recipe for obsolescence. Disciplined thinking means committing yourself to lifelong learning. It means setting aside time every day to read, to study, to practice, to improve. It means being humble enough to know that there's always more to learn, always ways to get better. It means seeking out teachers, mentors, coaches who can help you grow faster than you could on your own. It means learning from everyone you meet, because everyone knows something you don't. And it means applying what you learn, because knowledge without action is just information. Knowledge with action is power. That's mental discipline. The discipline of clarity. Let's talk about the discipline of clarity. The habit of being crystal clear about what you want and why you want it. Most people are fuzzy about their goals, vague about their priorities, unclear about their values. And that fuzziness, that vagueness, that lack of clarity shows up in their results. As I often say, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And most people are on any road, wondering why they haven't arrived anywhere meaningful. Disciplined thinking means taking the time to get clear about what matters most to you. Your core values, your big goals, your personal definition of success, your purpose. It means writing these things down, reviewing them regularly, refining them as you grow and evolve, and using them as decision filters for everything you do. When you're clear about what matters most, decision-making becomes easier, time management becomes easier. Saying no becomes easier, because you have a standard against which to measure every opportunity, every invitation, every distraction. Clarity is power, and disciplined thinking creates clarity. The discipline of consistency. Another crucial aspect of disciplined thinking is consistency. The habit of showing up, doing the work, and staying the course day after day even when you don't feel like it. Most people are inconsistent. They start and stop. They get excited and then get distracted. They're all in and then they're all out. They're hot and cold, up and down, on off. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to mediocre results at best. Disciplined thinking means committing to consistent action toward your goals regardless of how you feel on any given day. It means showing up even when the motivation isn't there. It means doing the work even when it's not exciting anymore. It means understanding that success is not about intensity, it's about consistency. It's not about doing something amazing once, it's about doing something good repeatedly. As I often say, we don't need to be amazing, we just need to be consistent. Consistency leads to amazement. That's mental discipline. The discipline of responsibility. Here's another crucial aspect of disciplined thinking: responsibility. The habit of taking 100% ownership of your life, your choices, and your results. Most people are quick to take credit for their successes, but even quicker to blame others for their failures. They're victims of circumstance, bad luck, other people's actions, the economy, the weather, anything but their own choices. That's undisciplined thinking, and it's the fastest way to surrender your power and remain stuck. Disciplined thinking means acknowledging that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you absolutely can control how you respond to what happens to you. And that response determines your results. It means letting go of blame, excuses, and justifications. It means asking, what can I do about this? Rather than, why is this happening to me? It means understanding that the moment you take responsibility, you take control. And control of your responses is the only real control you ever have. That's mental discipline. The discipline of emotion management. Let's talk about the discipline of emotion management, the ability to feel your emotions without being controlled by them. Most people are at the mercy of their emotional states. When they feel motivated, they take action. When they don't, they don't. When they feel confident, they move forward. When they feel afraid, they retreat. They let their emotions drive their behaviors, which means their results are as inconsistent as their feelings. That's undisciplined thinking, and it's a roller coaster that never arrives at success. Disciplined thinking means understanding that emotions are part of being human, but they don't have to be in the driver's seat. You can acknowledge a feeling without acting on it. You can feel fear and still move forward. You can feel laziness and still get to work. You can feel discouraged and still persist. It means developing emotional awareness, the ability to recognize what you're feeling, and why an emotional intelligence, the ability to choose your response to those feelings. And it means cultivating positive emotional states through deliberate practices like gratitude, visualization, affirmation, physical exercise, and proper rest. Because while you don't need to feel good to take action, it sure helps. That's mental discipline. The discipline of patience. Another crucial aspect of disciplined thinking is patience. The ability to delay gratification, to stay the course, to trust the process even when results aren't immediate. Most people want instant results, instant success, instant wealth, instant transformation. And when they don't get it, they give up. They try something else. They look for shortcuts. They blame the process instead of their lack of persistence. That's undisciplined thinking. And it leads to a life of unfinished projects, abandoned goals, and unrealized potential. Disciplined thinking means understanding that anything worth achieving takes time. It means embracing the journey as much as the destination. It means finding joy in the progress, not just the result. It means being willing to put in the work today without seeing the payoff tomorrow, or next week, or perhaps even next year. Because you understand that success is built day by day, choice by choice, action by action. As I often say, you can't hire someone else to do your push-ups for you. The process is the point. The discipline is the reward. The journey is where the transformation happens. That's mental discipline. The discipline of optimism. Let's talk about the discipline of optimism, the habit of expecting and looking for good outcomes, even in difficult situations. Most people are reactive to circumstances. When things are going well, they feel good. When things are going poorly, they feel bad. Their mental state is determined by their conditions, which means they're on an emotional roller coaster, because conditions are always changing. That's undisciplined thinking, and it gives away your power to external circumstances. Disciplined thinking means choosing to adopt an optimistic perspective regardless of current conditions. It means training your mind to look for opportunities in every situation, to find the silver lining in every cloud, to see failures as feedback and problems as challenges. This isn't about denying reality or pretending problems don't exist. It's about approaching problems with the belief that solutions exist and that you can find them. Optimism isn't just a pleasant way to live, it's a strategic advantage. Optimistic people see opportunities that pessimistic people miss. They try things that pessimistic people avoid. They persist when pessimistic people quit. And here's the thing, optimism is a choice. It's a mental discipline. It's a way of thinking that you can develop through practice. Just like a muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. That's mental discipline. The discipline of thinking big. Another crucial aspect of disciplined thinking is thinking big. The habit of setting ambitious goals, dreaming expansive dreams, and refusing to limit yourself based on past experiences or current circumstances. Most people think small. They set goals based on what they think is realistic, reasonable, achievable. And that sounds sensible, doesn't it? But here's the problem. Their definition of realistic is based on their past, not their potential. It's based on what they've done before, not what they're capable of doing. That's undisciplined thinking. And it leads to small results, small accomplishments, small lives. Disciplined thinking means giving yourself permission to think beyond your past, beyond your current circumstances, beyond what seems reasonable. It means asking, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? What would I attempt if I had unlimited resources? What would I become if I used my full potential? It means setting goals that scare you a little or a lot. Goals that require you to grow, to develop new skills, to become a different person than you are today. And it means refusing to let your past define your future, refusing to let setbacks diminish your dreams, refusing to let other people's limited thinking limit what you believe is possible for you. That's mental discipline. The discipline of reflection. Let's talk about the discipline of reflection. The habit of regularly reviewing your progress, evaluating your results, and learning from your experiences. Most people just keep going. They rarely pause to assess what's working, what's not working, what they've learned, and how they need to adjust. They're so busy doing that they never step back to evaluate the effectiveness of what they're doing. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to repeated mistakes, missed insights, and wasted effort. Disciplined thinking means setting aside time regularly, daily, weekly, monthly to reflect on your journey. To ask yourself powerful questions. What's working well? What's not working? What have I learned? What do I need to change? What do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to continue doing? It means celebrating your wins, acknowledging your progress, learning from your setbacks, and course correcting as needed. And it means being honest with yourself, not making excuses, not rationalizing, not blaming. Just looking at your results with clear eyes and asking, what do these results tell me about my approach? About my thinking? About my actions? That's mental discipline. The discipline of simplicity. Another crucial aspect of disciplined thinking is simplicity, the habit of focusing on what's essential and eliminating what's not. Most people's thinking is cluttered, complicated, overloaded with information, opinions, options, and commitments. They try to do too many things, focus on too many goals, solve too many problems all at once. And they end up scattered, stressed, and ineffective. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to complexity, confusion, and overwhelm. Disciplined thinking means cutting through the clutter to focus on what truly matters. It means asking, what's the most important thing I need to accomplish today? What's the one goal that will make the biggest difference in my life right now? What's the essential next step? It means learning to say no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones. It means ruthlessly eliminating distractions, busy work, and low-value activities from your life. And it means seeking clarity through simplicity. As I often say, confusion is the first step toward clarity. But you have to move through the confusion to the other side. You have to be willing to simplify, to eliminate, to focus. That's mental discipline. The discipline of self-talk. Let's talk about the discipline of self-talk, the ongoing conversation you have with yourself about yourself, your life, your challenges, and your capabilities. Most people's self-talk is negative, limiting, and self-defeating. They constantly tell themselves why they can't, why they shouldn't, why they're not good enough, smart enough, talented enough, experienced enough. They're their own worst critics and their own worst enemies. That's undisciplined thinking, and it's sabotaging your success more than any external obstacle ever could. Disciplined thinking means becoming aware of your self-talk and deliberately choosing words that empower you rather than limit you. It means replacing I can't with how can I, replacing this is too hard with this is challenging, but I'm growing. Replacing I'm not good at this with I'm getting better at this every time I try. It means speaking to yourself with the same kindness, encouragement, and patience you would offer to a good friend or a beloved child. Not with false praise or empty affirmations, but with genuine belief in your capacity to learn, to grow, to overcome. And it means catching yourself when you slip into negative self-talk, which you will, because we all do, and gently redirecting your thoughts back to what serves you rather than what sabotages you. That's mental discipline. The discipline of future self-thinking. Another crucial aspect of disciplined thinking is what I call future self-thinking. The habit of making decisions based on who you want to become rather than just who you are right now. Most people make choices based on their current identity, their current comfort level, their current skills and beliefs. They let who they are today determine who they'll be tomorrow. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to stagnation rather than growth. Disciplined thinking means considering not just what you want, but who you want to become. It means asking, is this choice aligned with the future I'm trying to create? Is this decision something my future self will thank me for? Am I acting from my current limitations or my future possibilities? It means being willing to be uncomfortable now for the sake of growth. Being willing to try things you're not yet good at. Being willing to invest in skills you don't yet have but want to develop. And it means understanding that the purpose of goals isn't just to get things, it's to become someone. Someone more capable, more confident, more impactful. Someone who can not only achieve that goal, but can set and achieve even bigger ones. That's mental discipline. The power of prayer and meditation. Let me share with you the importance of prayer and meditation in disciplining your thinking. These are ancient practices that the most successful people throughout history have used to quiet their minds, focus their thoughts, and connect with something greater than themselves. Prayer is communion with the divine. It's acknowledging that there's a wisdom and a power beyond our own limited perspective. It's seeking guidance, expressing gratitude, asking for help not just for ourselves but for others. Meditation is the practice of being fully present, of quieting the constant chatter of the mind, of observing your thoughts without attaching to them or being controlled by them. Both practices develop mental discipline. They help you step back from the endless stream of thoughts and choose which ones deserve your attention and energy. They create space between stimulus and response, the space where freedom and choice reside. I encourage you to develop a daily practice of prayer and meditation. It doesn't have to be lengthy. Even a few minutes can make a profound difference. The key is consistency. The daily discipline of setting aside time to quiet your mind, to center yourself, to connect with your highest values and deepest wisdom. That's mental discipline. The ultimate choice. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this final thought. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thinking, not by your circumstances, not by your background, not by your resources or lack thereof, but by your thinking. And the quality of your thinking is determined by the disciplines you develop and practice daily. Not occasionally, not when you feel like it, not when it's convenient, but daily. Disciplined thinking isn't easy. If it were, everyone would do it, but it's worth it. Because disciplined thinking leads to disciplined actions, and disciplined actions lead to extraordinary results. The choice is yours. It always has been. You can let your thinking run wild and disciplined, reactive and scattered. Or you can take control of your thinking, discipline it, direct it, focus it on what you want. That choice, the choice to discipline your thinking or not, will determine everything else in your life. Everything! So I ask you, what will you choose? What mental disciplines will you commit to developing starting today? What new habits of thought will you begin to cultivate? What old patterns of thinking will you begin to change? Your future is waiting for your answer. And I believe in you. I believe in your capacity to choose well, to grow, to become all that you're capable of becoming. Thank you for your time and attention today. Go forth and discipline your thinking. Your extraordinary life awaits.